Hello and welcome back to Airbus What's It Doing Now, and I'm going to talk to you today about an upcoming series of videos that I'm going to do on the Hudson River ditching. This is going to come straight from the NTSB report of the US Airways Flight 1549 on January the 15th, 2009. I'm going to do this in a podcast kind of approach, so you can listen in the car or when you're out on a walk or if you're struggling to sleep. It's going to be supported by some diagrams and pictures and illustrations. I might be able to include some video as well, but I'll have to see how I get on with that because there might be some copyright issues, so we may or may not be able to do that. But largely you can just follow this through just by listening to it, so you won't need the graphics so much. There's a lot of really interesting detail in this report, and I've read it a couple of times now over the past year or so, and a lot of stuff that is really interesting that I'm going to hopefully add some context to in terms of some of the changes that have been implemented since that. But the first thing I want to look at is a reminder of the protection laws, and they go into that in a fair bit of detail here. And the great thing about these safety reports is they assume no knowledge of the Airbus, and so they go into it in a fair bit of detail and understand what the sort of alpha protection does and what it means, and I think with adding some contents to how it relates in this incident on this event, I think is really important. So do us no harm in going back over that and how these protections helped the crew in managing this managing it into a successful water landing, which isn't tested. Really useful topic to go over. We then take a look at the dual engine failure checklist. Of course, back then we only had one checklist, which is what they tried their best to follow. Of course, subsequently there's been some changes now, the dual engine failure at low altitude, which I'll come on to later on. But we'll take a look at the dual engine failure checklist, what they went through, what they actually completed, their decision to ditch, the ditching airspeed, the choice or the decision to use flap 2. There's a fair bit of analysis associated with that, and we look at some of the CRM and threat error management details within the event itself. We also then look at structural damage of the aircraft and the airframe, where it took on water, etc., and where the hull was breached. We have a look at the engine damage, as well as taking a look at passenger location and the use of the emergency exits. This is a really interesting detail actually when assessing passenger behaviour during an evacuation. And in this incident, I'm not suggesting this happens often, but in the peculiar circumstances of this incident, passengers went out, came back in, and then went out again out of different exits. But it was also really interesting to see where people were sat didn't necessarily go out of the exit that was closest to them, and there's some studies done here which suggest people like to go out of the exit they came in, or their entry and exit point. So if they came in door 1 left and they're sat in the middle of the cabin, the chances are that they might even go back forward rather than going over the overwing exit, which might be closer to them. So there's a good study in that which we'll come to. We'll also have a look at the CFM bird ingestion tests, and this is a real eye-opener for me. We've all seen, haven't we, where we've all heard the joke of somebody firing some frozen birds into a Trent engine and destroying it. Now, I don't know actually if that's true, but of course they do fire birds into an engine as part of the certification, and there are parameters obviously for certification, but it also depends on the engine size and the frontal area as to where the engines are fired. Where the birds are ingested, whether they're the core or the around the outside of the engine. So that's quite interesting. So we take a look at that, and then finally we look at the recommendations by the NTSB, such as the use of a checklist for dual engine failure occurring at low altitude, which of course we have now. And there's lots of safety recommendations in there which have been adopted or have yet to be adopted, but worth reviewing. So there's lots to talk about. There's an awful lot of content to go through. This isn't going to be covered in one video. I'm probably going to do this over, I would say, a minimum of 4, to be kept around an hour long, and that's me cutting things back. So the first one I'm hoping to get out in the coming days. What I will do is in the description I'll put the reference to where each of the topics actually begins. So if one topic particularly gets your attention, you can go straight to that. I think that's going to be quite useful for you. So anyway, that's it. That's a heads up. The Hudson ditching of flight 1549, January 15, 2009. We'll take a look at that in the first video in the coming days. Thanks very much. Keep the plates spinning. I look forward to seeing you again very soon.